Trouble brewing in the Steel City. Will Rodgers divide the locker room before he even arrives? A storm is brewing in Pittsburgh, and no, it's not the kind you track on weather radar. It's the kind that brews inside locker rooms, boardrooms, and the hearts of fans unsure whether the Pittsburgh Steelers are about to take a bold step forward or trip into a full-blown quarterback controversy. The focus of the storm? One man, Aaron Rodgers. With organized team activities, OTAs on the horizon, and the clock ticking on off-season prep, there's still no official word from Rodgers on whether he'll suit up in black and gold. Speculation has run wild. Analysts have been trying to predict his move like meteorologists, guessing when the thunder will hit. But the truth? Only Rodgers knows his next move, and he's not saying a word. This silence isn't just inconvenient, it's disruptive. Every day Rodgers delays his decision. The more it complicates Pittsburgh's off-season blueprint. Coaches can't fully install a system. Teammates can't build chemistry. And the front office? They're stuck in limbo, forced to plan for two drastically different futures. One with Rodgers calling the shots, and one without. Inside the tension. Who actually wants Rodgers? Earlier this week, Andrew Filipponi of 93.7, The Fan, dropped a bombshell during his show, diving deep into how Rodgers' potential arrival is being received inside the Steelers organization. Spoiler alert, not everyone's on board. I don't think there's a lot of people over there in Pittsburgh that want Aaron Rodgers, Filipponi said. Mike Tomlin is the only one who really wants this. It's his decision, not ownership's. Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, he was eyeing Justin Fields. And that right there may be the most telling part of this saga. Arthur Smith came to Pittsburgh with a vision, the same vision that made him a name in Tennessee, a run-first, physical, clock-controlling offense, a system that doesn't rely on a superstar quarterback making off-script plays, but instead on efficiency, structure, and team cohesion. Rodgers, historically, is the opposite of that philosophy. He's a cerebral, improvisational, sometimes hard-to-coach quarterback who prefers autonomy. He likes to call his own plays, adjust at the line, and do things his way. That works great until it clashes with the rest of the staff's game plan. If Rodgers does sign with Pittsburgh, it could effectively sideline Arthur Smith's influence. And if Smith was brought in to reshape the offense and instead ends up as a figurehead, that's a recipe for internal frustration. Tomlin's power play, Rodgers at any cost. Let's be clear, Mike Tomlin is not a coach you overrule. He's the architect of one of the NFL's most stable franchises. In his 19 seasons, he's never posted a losing record, a streak virtually unheard of in modern football. When Tomlin sets his sights on a player, you better believe he's got a plan. According to Filipponi and others close to the team, Tomlin has enough authority to greenlight Rodgers' arrival, regardless of how others feel. Ownership, including Art Rooney II, reportedly gives Tomlin wide latitude on football decisions. That makes this more than a QB move. It's a Tomlin move. But what's the cost? If Rodgers joins, he won't come quietly. His time with the Jets proved that he expects say in personnel decisions, coaching dynamics, and play calling. In New York, he pushed for former teammates like Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb. Would he make similar demands in Pittsburgh? It's not out of the question. Giving Rodgers too much control could undermine Pittsburgh's core identity. A gritty, team-first organization built on discipline and tradition. At the same time, failing to give him enough control could alienate the future Hall of Famer before the season even starts. It's a tightrope walk, one that Tomlin will have to balance on perfectly. The case for Mason Rudolph. Familiar, affordable, drama-free. And then there's Mason Rudolph, the quarterback already in-house. Rudolph might not bring Rodgers' star power or MVP credentials, but he does bring something Pittsburgh loves. Stability. He knows the playbook. He understands the culture. And most importantly, he's not a distraction. For fans tired of off-season soap operas, Rudolph represents the path of least resistance. He's a better fit for Arthur Smith's offense. He's not going to lobby for new wide receivers or try to hijack the playbook. And he's still young enough to be developed further. A growing segment of Steelers Nation would rather roll with Rudolph for a year than mortgage the future on a quarterback who may or may not commit and may or may not fit the system. What happens next? Rodgers remains the wild card in all of this. His decision could either unify the team under Tomlin's leadership or splinter it with conflicting philosophies. The Steelers don't do mid-season coach firings. Matt Canada in 2023 was a rare exception. That suggests Rodgers won't have the same influence over staff as he has in the past. If he truly wants to play in Pittsburgh, he may have to adjust his style, not the other way around. But don't expect him to change without friction. Whether this becomes a Cinderella story or a locker room explosion depends on the balance between Rodgers' demands and Pittsburgh's discipline. One thing is for sure. If Rodgers walks into the building, everyone will be watching. Steelers fans, brace yourselves. This could be the most high-stakes off-season Pittsburgh has